Well, we didn't get as much snow as they threatened us with, so that's good in a way. But 3 inches of snow is just as bad as 6 inches of snow because they still got to plow it, and it doesn't take any more to move 6 inches of snow than it does 3 inches of snow. Well, we've got the Bobcat warming up over there with a bucket on it. Nice thing about it is it's warmed up to about 26 degrees or so, which is a big difference from what it was before at 18. Well, that's pretty nice. That makes a big difference. It's hard to imagine how much difference that makes, but it does make a big difference. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a breeze blowing today, so it feels colder. I could take one of the heaters out of the water pump house or turn it off until it gets cold again. Anyway, I better get after this, get this snow cleaned up so I can get started on that log. I got the driveway cleaned up, and I just used the bucket on the Bobcat, just made quick passes down through it. Didn't take too long to do it that way. The clamps and stuff on the sawmill are all icy and they haven't been dealt with for a couple of years, so they're a little bit rusty and stuff, but mainly they're icy. What I've done before on that one I did worked in the wintertime with it was I got some alcohol, some heat, and I would spray on that stuff. We used to use that years ago when I was plowing snow and get it on the slides and stuff like that. When they froze up and got ice on them and they wouldn't slide anymore, they would pour some of this stuff on there and melt the ice off of it. Well, my son, I had him get me some last night because I don't have any way to get to town today. He brought me 1 bottle of it, which is pretty marginal, but we're going to have to make it be enough. Well, I've got this spray bottle. So to make this stuff go farther and a little more efficiently, rather than just taking it out there and dumping it on stuff, I'm going to put it on this spray bottle and spray it. This is what you use in gas tanks and stuff to absorb the water in gas tanks and to thaw them out when you hit problems with ice or water in your gasoline. Well, I've got an old bottle of it here that I've had on the shelf out there for years. It's been partially used. And it's a little different. It's fuel injector cleaner too, but it's basically the same stuff. That gives me a little over half a bottle in the spray bottle. I'm going to take that out there and spray down all the parts, the sliding parts and stuff on there. Spray it down with this stuff. See if you can't get them, the ice off of them, and then I'll put a little bit of lubricant of some kind on everything so that they hopefully get them to turning a little bit and stuff as I use that mill. I put a tarp over the motor, the engine there on the sawmill, and got that little heater in there and stuck it in there. It's been in there for an hour, a couple hours now. I took that alcohol and put on the tubes and stuff there where the clamps are for the logs and got those moving a little better, got the ice off of them, swept the log off. That gave me an opportunity to check it out for any rocks or dirt or anything that might have been embedded in it during the movement of getting it around and stuff like that. I got the heat gun out, heated up some of the places where the ice was, like on those forward rollers in the chain, took the alcohol on the chain and melted the ice off of it and then lubed it up. I'm going to put the battery on there now and get that thing started and see if it can't get going. The day's almost gone already today. One of the joys of working in the wintertime around here is get daylight till late, and takes hours just to get everything ready to go. So I've got it started and warming up, and I've got the clutch engaged. Normally I wouldn't do that warming up, but I want to do that now to get those bearings in that idler wheel warmed up before I start. I'm going to let it run for a little while like this, get warmed up, and then we'll make our first cut. You can see that first cut's going to be pretty deep, but that is as high as the mill will go. That's 24 inches. And that log is 32 inches there on the butt end of it, on the bottom end of it, and 29 inches on the top, 31 inches on the butt, and 29 inches on the top. Okay, everything's kind of warmed up now. The bearings in the idler wheel are running smooth now, and they're not overheated. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got my log all lined up and set up. Well, there's no reason not to go ahead and try to make that first cut. cut went pretty good, mostly. I stopped there as it looked like my roller guide there on the far side, I was going to start running into the log. It's really hard to get a log this big lined up properly on the mill so that all the guides and everything clear on it. Oh, it looked like I was going to run into it with that roller guide, so I went and got my wife's new little saw, little MSA 120C. It's a battery operated still, and this is the first time I got a chance to use it, and it works pretty darn good. It's got some pretty good power in it for the size of it, and it trimmed. I just scrubbed along the side of that log there where the path of the blade was going, and just scrubbed the wood off of it enough to get some clearance on there. But this little saw worked really great. I would have used my Husqvarna 372, but I've got a screw missing in it on the chain brake and crankcase side. Oh, I've got to wait till I get it back together before I dare use it. But this little thing worked pretty good. That's as high as I can get that mill, so I have to pull that slab off of that log, drop it on the ground to get enough clearance to back that mill back up to the starting point. I got to figure out what to do next here. I guess the logical step is to go ahead and rotate that 90 degrees and make another cut on that, make a cant out of that. I have a hell of a time doing that by myself anymore. That size log is just too much for me anymore to move around. So I guess I get the Bobcat going and go up and get the grapple for it and see if I can turn it over with that. I get the PV out and see if I can turn it maybe. I was thinking about just going ahead and dropping it down and cutting an 8-inch slab off of there, because that's what I'm going to make is 8-inch 2x6s. Actually, I think I'll make 8-inch 3x6s. If I cut an 8-inch slab off there, then I could just cut my 2x out of that or 3x out of that. But my mill won't clear the log down that far. My guide rollers and stuff won't clear the log going down any farther than that. So I guess I'm going to have to roll that over and kind of whittle it down to where I can get it to clear the machine. I got the PV out, and that log was just too big in diameter for the PV, and this log is froze up hard. I couldn't get the point to dig into it at all. I finally found a scar in it, a break in it, in the cadmium layer, right there where that first dog is on this side, and I got the hook into it. And I got started turning the log. I got it turned as far as I could using that point, and then I just couldn't get the point of the PV to dig into the log anymore. I just couldn't get a grip on it. So I went and got my log grapple, so we'll try it. We'll get it set up here and see if we can't turn that log and get it set up with it. I still have to adjust it by hand. I got to get that face that we just cut perpendicular with the next face with the blade on the saw, so that we can have a nice square edge on the boards when we cut them.
That was fun.
Okay. I gotta see if I can get it square here. Still not square, but. There we go. There we go. Now let's see how we got. Whoa. Now, see what we got now. All right, got to come back this way just a little bit. So that's pretty good. Well, now somebody run in there and put that board under there. One of you guys run under there and put that board in there. Over 6 inches above that blade there, almost 8 inches. Part of that is in the cadmium layer, which is rotten, but some of that's good wood. Well, we could probably get some more lumber out of that. There's looking down the side here. Taper going both directions, so you wind up with a little bit of wane on that. I'm going to have to do the same thing with this one as I did the other one. I'm going to have to stop it down there at the other end once the mill clears the log and pull this slab off of there, and then I can bring the mill back. Was canted a little bit on the bed, and when I got down to the other end of it, that roller on that outboard side started running into the log. So I stopped it. I tried to back it up a little bit so I could get some room in there and loosen that end of that log up and slide it over a little bit. Well, it didn't work very well. The blade derailed on it. The blade came off. It gets kind of a pain in the butt getting the blade out of there. I've got to get some wedges and stuff and wedge this thing open and get some room in there in the kerf, and we'll see how badly damaged the blade is. I might just have to cut it and pull it out, but anyway. anyway, that about ends it for now. I still gotta loosen up the dogs down there on that end and try to slide that cant over, that timber, that log over a little bit so I can get some clearance on that roller on the other end. So that about does it for the day.